Hey, hello YouTube. Welcome to my car. We're in the parking garage at the BART station. But today is my first day at a new job doing administrative work in San Francisco. That is sort of like the only job I've ever had, administrative work in San Francisco. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. When I was searching for work up in the Sacramento area, 6 months of searching, sending out resumes, nothing. I got one interview in 6 months of job searching. Come back to the San Francisco Bay Area, and I've been looking for a job for like 3 weeks and landed one. It's like people like discrimination. People really like discrimination, I think. I'm pretty sure it's because I have a Sanskrit name. My name looks Indian. I mean, it is, technically, but people see an Indian name, expect to have an Indian person. There's really a lot of prejudice and discrimination against Indian people in this country. I don't know if people are generally aware of that, some of the stereotypes of Indian people, and the amount of discrimination that happens against them. But yeah, it took me 3 weeks to find a job in San Francisco versus 6 months of nothing in Sacramento, California. And now I'm gonna get on the train for the first time in years. I'm so excited. I got my book, I packed my lunch. I hope this job is so amazing and fantastic. Hey, so welcome to my car. I just stopped at Target to buy makeup. Like, I know a lot of you that have been watching my channel since like the beginning remember a time when I wore a lot of makeup and colored my hair, and then I took sannyas and was living out in the wilderness and did not do any of that for years. And now that I'm back in the city and I have a job in San Francisco, I am employed. I bought some makeup. I got rid of my last makeup because so much of it was, I was having, allergic reactions or skin reactions or something. It was not good. It was burning and I gave it all away. It was old, really, anyway. But I went out, I grabbed some makeup. I mean, my boss is really cool. She's very casual. I don't think it would be an issue for me to go in without makeup. I already went into my first day without makeup. I've been living outside of society. I've been living a monastic life for years. And even though I'm back in the city multiple times, I haven't really been back in any sort of like traditional social structure. And even now, my job is contract, hired through my an alumni contact. So I'm still like getting paid, as a freelancer, not like employed. But searching for housing, searching for work, I realized how far outside of society I had been living and how far outside of society I got comfortable. And for so many years in my life, I have very specifically been trying to drop out of society and live outside of society. And I feel like I, successfully achieved that in joining the ashram and living a monastic life. And I totally forgot how much emotional labor is necessary, for one, in order to get housing, get a job, stay employed, all this, interacting with people, like taking public transportation, how much emotional labor is required, me having to pretend that I'm happier. And I think a lot of this is, specifically for female bodies as well, having to maintain appearances and do this sort of emotional labor, which is, again, why I bought the makeup. I also, if you didn't notice, I colored my hair, which I was not really planning to do. I trimmed some of the loose frizzy, I trimmed all the loose frizzy pieces as well, so it looks really cleaned up. But I just can't even really care about the color of my hair anymore. And I'm I went gray very, very young, and it has not gone away. So I colored my hair so people might, respond to me differently, so that I could find housing and get a job. One of the places that I went to look for housing, the roommate was asking some very inappropriate kinds of questions, trying to figure out my age. And I'm just like, bro, no. So here I am, back into wearing makeup, performing for society, instead of just like existing as I am in the world. I mean, in the ashram, none of this was required. None of it was required. Even thinking back, the kind of emotional labor and, performing like a happy voice, a more positive, lighthearted sounding voice, and kind of smiling and giggling at everything that everyone says. Like, no one did that back in the ashram. We were all very, very real. And, I generally didn't bother with makeup at the ashram unless, it was a special event. And even living at the wilderness ashram, I couldn't even care what clothes or hair or anything I was wearing. I just did not even register for me at all. And it's like, once you get outside of society, it's weird coming back. It's weird having to remember all of these things. And I feel like I have the advantage of having lived without this sort of social presentation, the presentation of self. Now, having lived without all of that for so long, I feel like I'm better able to examine it and not let it get to me personally. It was like personal. Like, it was really who I thought I was. This person that interacted with people in a certain way and spoke a certain way and, looked a certain way. I really, really felt like that was authentic to who I am. And really it was, the society had built that self that I thought I was. When spiritual people talk about, issues with society, don't let society get to you, live in society, but don't be of society. Unless you have actually lived outside, you have no idea. You have no idea. There's no way for you to go from your, whatever comfortable middle class life or whatever you've got going on, and to just say like, oh, I'm not letting society get to me. Like, you have no idea the ways that society is getting to you and affecting how you think about yourself and how you act in everyday life. And even having studied this in sociology class when I was back in college, I took a sociology of everyday life, where we read the classic text by Irving Goffman, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life. That text stuck with me so much. I kept that book for a very long time and was fascinated by it. but could not actually get myself out or see myself outside of society really fundamentally until renouncing, until being a sannyasi and living in an ashram and living alone in the wilderness. So I'm gonna go try this makeup on. I also got Morphe 2 and Elf, and I got another Elf. These are all vegan, and I hope they do not burn my skin.